Good morning, everyone. How are we? How are we? Excited for the stream today, guys. I hope we all are as well. See what everyone's saying. Hello, WY. Nice to see you again in here. United Colin, let's go. Aaron came from Twitter first stream. Exciting to have you along, my friend. Hope you're doing well. Adam Calvert says, hi, Alex. I watched your show from yesterday. Very enjoyable. Put a good smile on my face. I'm glad I could do that, mate. Give you 2 minutes for everyone to get in, and then we'll start the stream properly. How's everyone doing today? Everyone looking forward to the stream? We're going to be talking Yoro, we're going to be talking Ten Hag. Just give us 1 more minute. Let's see, get as many people as we can in. Good day, Alex. Good day, Basnet. Nice to see you again. 11 a.m. every day, I am here. About to kick off the stream. And for the first time, there's no echo, which is lovely. What's with the Real Madrid shirt? Bellingham. I grew up near him. So I have to rep my boy. Sean Toulon, nice to see you again. Lovely. If we're all ready to start the stream, guys, please leave us a like. Please, we want all the support on this channel. We're growing really well, building a lovely community. And good morning, everyone, and welcome to the MPB Morning Show. I'm your host, Alex, at Alex Talksall, and we have so much to talk about today. From Leny Yoro to the absolutely shambolic situation that is Erik Ten Hag's managerial position. We're going to discuss that a little bit later, but first, I want to discuss Leny Yoro. As I'm sure all of us have seen from the MUFC MPB Twitter accounts, Rob Dawson yesterday said that Manchester United are interested in Lille centre-back Leny Yoro. First of all, Dawson is excellent. He's a really good source. I would like a bit more clarification, especially on the Yoro links. He did a whole debrief yesterday, and we're going to get into all of that today. But the Leny Yoro links, I wouldn't mind a bit more collaboration on it. I wouldn't mind someone else saying that we're properly interested in him, because it is the first time in about a few weeks that we've had concrete signs that Manchester United are interested in the best youth centre-back prospect in world football. So, what are we thinking about the Yoro links, guys? WY is agreeing with me, saying that Yoro is the next big thing. I agree with you there, sir. Morning, Julius. Morning, TJ Moran. Morning, everybody. Hope we're all doing well. So I'm going to break down Dawson's words today, and the main word I'm going to be looking at is interested. It's one of the big buzzwords you hear about transfers. Like, what does interested actually mean? To me, in this setting, I feel that he's been scouted. We do quite like him. I think that is the basis of it. United are interested in loads of players. We're interested in loads of players. But the fact that Dawson is saying it to me, alongside names like he's mentioning Branthwaite in this report, it suggests that he could potentially be a really quite concrete target for us. I feel that Leny Yoro is very similar to the Eduardo Camavinga situation. Does everyone remember that from a while ago? The Eduardo Camavinga situation. Aaron says he's very good, type of signing we need, absolutely. Sharma, nice to see you, sir. Haven't seen you in here before. He's a ball-playing centre-back. He is very good with the ball at his feet. Yoro is comfortable. He's perhaps not as good as, let's say, a Todibo, for example, but I do feel that Leny Yoro is the closest thing we've seen in years to Raphael Varane. He's got the speed, he's an excellent box defender, like his lanky frame. Like, the fact that he's French as well, it does seem... We spoke about Todibo yesterday and how similar they are, but Leny Yoro is a very similar type of player to Raphael Varane personally. And he'd be a perfect signing. He would be my first signing this summer if he's available. Swaggart says, Madrid is after him. Better you leave him alone. Thank you, my friend, because that segues wonderfully in to the Eduardo Camavinga situation. Everyone remember, was it like 2-3 windows ago We were interested in Camavinga. I think the whole world was. And his agent talked about links. We put a bid in for him. That pretty much came from his agent. We were interested in him, like we were interested in Yoro. But as per, agents love using Manchester United's name. We are the biggest club in world football. Let's not forget that, guys. Manchester United are the biggest club in world football, and they use us. And I'm quite scared that Yoro's agent's gone to Dawson, and he's gone, hey, mate, I'll give you a little bit of an exclusive here. United aren't interested. They do like Yoro. They do like my boy. But would you mind just sort of putting that out there, just to put pressure on Real Madrid to make a move? Because we've heard lots of interest from Yoro's side in going after Real Madrid. He wants it. Santi said that Yoro really is sold on the Real Madrid project, and who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be sold on that? They've got everyone there. Valverde, Bellingham, I'm repping the shirt right now. They've got Vinicius Jr., Rodrigo. They've got too many. They had Toni Kroos retiring. Modric's going to stick around there for another year. They have everybody. Is there a release clause? Says Basno. I don't know. It's not really clarified. People are saying it'd be the 40 million to 50 million mark. That seems like a really good ballpark for centre-backs at the moment. Anything higher than maybe 60 million with add-ons, I think is a bit steep, just due to how deep the centre-back market is at the moment. What else are people saying? Checksfield saying Yoro is the perfect partner for Licha. I think Licha, being the profile he is, almost narrows the possibility for partners. You're really right, sir. I think you're absolutely right. Lisandro Martinez is smaller than me, and I'm 5'7". You wouldn't have me anywhere near the centre-back position in any game of football. Martinez is a bit different. He's great at heading the ball. He's fantastic with the ball at his feet. He loves seeing the whole game out in front of him. But to me, with Yoro, he provides exactly what Varane is to Martinez. A wonderful box defender. Remember that game in the FA Cup final? Remember his performance? Ball came in, Varane headed it out. Ball came in, Varane headed it out. The first 15, 20 minutes, it was an onslaught into the box. And Varane did brilliantly. WY says Yoro is available for 40 to 50 million, says the Muppeteers. Checksfield says, very good, but it's a risk if he's coming in as a starter. Think he should be a third choice, rotating in where possible. I think Yoro is good to start at Manchester United, and I think he would have to be thrown in at the deep end. Swaggett says, I think United is getting Todibo, so it'd be good if United go for Inacio or Antonio Silva. Does anyone know anything about those two players, Inacio or Antonio Silva? I'd love to hear your opinions on them in the chat. It's like casualty at United. Lord WY says Adam Calvert. Oh, pardon me. Adam Calvert says, but would he get in the team? Benchwarmer. Are you talking about Madrid or United there, Calvert? Because even if it is Madrid, at United he would definitely get in the team. Leny Yoro is a superstar in the making, and Old Trafford, the theatre of the dreams, is where he needs to play, personally. But Real Madrid, if you look at the last few years, even if a player doesn't get in the team immediately, they're going to. Look at how they've treated Bellingham, who's walked into the team. But you can't really deny Jude Bellingham. He is the best player in world football by a country mile. He deserves to start at Real Madrid. But players like Vinicius Jr., how long did it take him to get in the team? Eduardo Camavinga took him some time. So I think Leny Yoro would look at Madrid and see there's a pathway for him. Maybe not immediately, but we've all seen how Bellingham loves Madrid. Yoro will have seen that. But hopefully Yoro watched the FA Cup final and went, I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part with those boys. Don't think Silva is ready to start for us if we decide on him, says Aaron. Swaggett says you will see both of them balling out in the Euros for Portugal. I'll be sure to keep a keen eye on them, my friend. Basnett says, don't underestimate United's pool, lads. Question for the chat. Let me know right now. Which is the bigger club in world football? Manchester United or Real Madrid? I'm taking my Madrid shirt off. I'm taking my United hat off. Both of them to the side. Who's a bigger club, chat? Let me know. Let me know. And while you're there, if you're having a good time in this stream so far, or if you've just joined, please leave us a like. Please leave us a subscribe. We're at 14 likes right now. I'd love to hit 20 in the next few minutes. Please, guys, let me know. Personally, if we're looking at other centre-back targets as well, we'll get onto that in just a second. But would you put Yoro as a better player than Branthwaite, as Todibo? Let me know in the chat as well. Real Madrid, says Nathan Checksfield. WY says Manchester United. Obviously, Aaron says Real Madrid. Would you agree with me? if I said that the two biggest clubs in world football are Manchester United and Real Madrid? Would you let me know that? Let me know. Yes, Swagger. Right on cue, Swagger. They're the same. They're the same. United are bigger, says WY. New Samal says Real Madrid are bigger. United, says Basnet. Can I get some United in the chat, please? So let's do a little bit of a deep dive on Leny Yoro and why I think he is the best possible signing for us for Manchester United, the centre-back position this summer. He's 6'3", perfect alongside Lisandro Martinez, as we've already accomplished. He comes from Lille, the same academy as Eden Hazard. Looking at French centre-backs in recent years, look at William Saliba. Look how good he's been. He's quick. He's not Varane quick. Varane in his prime is one of the fastest players in the world. Yoro is quick, but he's not exactly. He's not Raphael Varane. I don't think we will ever see a centre-back like Varane again, but he's the closest thing we have. But he is, above all, a unicorn profile. His legs are so long. They're perfect for tackling, for intercepting. His strides are excellent. His recovery pace is wonderful. I spoke about 2 streams ago how Erik ten Hag's Manchester United, about his end goal system. We need ground-eating monsters, absolute physical specimens running about on that park, covering ground, making headers, being the best possible players they can be physically. Yoro is that. Yoro is the player for that. French fans say he's the next big centre-back in football, says WY. Yep, he is. He's going to be better than William Saliba. I promise you. I promise you. Any update on Ten Hag Pandy? Please stick around this stream, guys. We are going to be talking about Erik ten Hag later and the shambolic way in which he's been treated by Ineos. Absolutely shambolic. But for now, let's focus on the positives. Let's focus on Leny Yoro for 2 more minutes. Do you think he could fill Varane's shoes? Anybody? I personally think he has the ability to. That man certainly has the ability to be what Raphael Varane is. Does he have the leadership qualities, though? Does he have the minerals, the aura to do what Varane has? Because I don't think any player in the squad has that. I don't think they do. I mean, we're losing Casemiro. Who else? Who else is a several-time Champions League winner? Been everywhere. Erik ten Hag told him, you win, eh? You always win. You always win, eh? That, excuse the incredibly poor Dutch accent, but that's what he said. And you can't lose that. And it's such it really makes me sad that he's leaving, but I think Yoro has got the ability to be that player. I don't know if he has the minerals yet, though. Don't know if he's has the minerals yet. No matter what we have to do, we have to sign 2 centre-backs. I completely agree with you. So, Dawson also put out another bit of a brief. It did sort of feel it was a whole torrent of information he gave us. Dawson's very good, especially in the transfer window, of coming in and just sort of dumping lots of information on us all at once. He's not a regular day-to-day guy, but every 5 to 10 days we'll get some nice new information. And Dawson gave us that yesterday. And he said Manchester United would ideally like a right-sided centre-back to replace Raphael Varane and a left-sided centre-back to act as a cover for Lisandro Martinez. However, there is a possibility that Everton's asking price for Jared Branthwaite, who is left-footed, could convince United's recruitment team to focus on signing a right-footed player instead. What that says to me is for all the left-footed centre-backs who United are looking at, Jared Branthwaite is the number 1 target, and I completely agree with him. As long as the asking price is right, there is not a better left-footed player on the market at centre-back for Manchester United. WY says, when's the next guest show on the channel? On Tuesday, my friend, we have Ben Jacobs coming on to discuss all things Manchester United. So please be tuned for that. No matter what we have to do is to sign 2 centre-backs. That's what Dawson is saying right there, my friend. WY, you're on a roll today. Tossin, says Basnet, is a player we're looking at, the Fulham centre-back. We're hearing rumblings that Newcastle were looking at him, but that all sort of fell dead in the water when Manchester United came calling. Again, we need to talk about the pull of United, even now, even after the drought of form we've been on. Not a Premier League in how many years? Not a Champions League in even longer. Not a proper title charge. I'm not going to count Ole's title charge, not going to count Ten Hag's title charge because he didn't have one. When's the last time we showed any real force and we still have players desperate to come to us? And Tossin is a player who wants to do that. I prefer Tolibo and Antonio Silva. Antonio Silva seems Arsenal bound if anywhere. And there's not really that many links to him from United side, to be honest. What happens to Branthwaite or Martinez if we sign him? How old is Branthwaite, chat? Could someone find that for me? Because if I'm not mistaken, he's still quite young. I think he would be the perfect cover for Lisandro Martinez. He's both players, by the way. Martinez and Branthwaite can play at left back. So I think there's that ideal. But point I'd love to bring up about the left-footed, right-footed centre-back is, to me, it shows that Erik ten Hag is staying at Manchester United. Let me tell you why. We've heard all season Erik ten Hag has moaned and complained and just gone ugh about all the transfers, about the lack of proper structure at the back. The centre-back partnerships, they don't work. They don't work. Why? Why? Because we don't have a left-footed player on the left centre-back. We don't have a right-footed player as a right centre-back. And that's been one of his big issues. The fact that we are really pushing for Jarrad Branthwaite as a left-footed centre-back, to me, really insinuates that Erik ten Hag will be staying at Manchester United. And if we don't sign Branthwaite at a reasonable price, say he goes, hypothetically, say Liverpool. I don't know if any links are there. Say Liverpool come in for Jarrad Branthwaite and sign him for £50 million, and United could have done. To me, Erik ten Hag will be gone. But we'll get onto the Ten Hag situation in a bit. Ed Barrett says, I reckon Ineos are waiting for Erik ten Hag to review the adjustments to his terms and conditions. He'll stay if he gets an extension, but stripping him of power and not extending isn't a good deal. What do we think about that, chat? What do we think about that? What do we think about that? Do you think it's Erik ten Hag making the decision, saying, look, if you don't give in to me, I'm not going to stay? I don't think the left-footed, right-footed centre-back is an Erik ten Hag thing. It's just the way the whole of football is right now. I do agree with you, but it is something Erik ten Hag has spoken about at length. He hasn't shut up about it this year. And instead of Jarrad Branthwaite, I mean, the chat seems to think Tosin is a really good on a free. That would be perfect. I think those are the sort of the astute deals United need to be making. We should be looking, you know what, this team who I think we should be trying to replicate the transfers of are Arsenal and Aston Villa. Now, hear me out on this. Not a City, because their project is practically complete. They can go out and sign Jeremy Doku. They can spend £100 million on Jack Grealish. We can't do that yet. We have to build smartly and with a little bit more IQ than usual. Aston Villa have made an approach to Ross Barkley about signing him. That's genius. That's so clever. It gives them depth, gives them a bit of structure. It's perfect. Arsenal, remember that big window when they signed White, Tomiyasu, all those players, like for around 100 million in total? Brilliant investments. United need to be doing that. Tosin is a player we absolutely need. As a free and as fifth choice, who would you rather have, Lindelof or Tosin as a centre-back? Swaggart says United have to sign at least 3 centre-backs and a midfielder like Frenkie de Jong and an experienced striker. Todibo all the way, says Daddy. Todibo all the way. We had a bit of an argument in the chat yesterday about Todibo. Seems to be mixed reviews on him. Newcastle will get Tosin, says WY. Antonio Silva. We're seeing a lot of Antonio Silva at the moment. A lot of talk about Antonio Silva. I've not watched a lot of him. I know he's quite good on Football Manager, but it's not FIFA. It's not Football Manager here on this channel. We're talking real football, real discussion about Manchester United. If you're enjoying it so far, please leave us a like. We're at 21 likes right now. Please, let's try and hit 30 in the next 5 minutes. I know we're really enjoying it today. Some great discussion going on. Sell Maguire for £30 million, says Panley. That's a really interesting point. Say we, hypothetically, I'm not going to specify which players. Say we bring in 2 centre-backs this summer. How many centre-backs do we move on? How many go? Sheldon Toulon says United will never get the deals that the other clubs do, no matter who is running the club. It's United. We get rinsed every time. It's Woodward's fault we get rinsed every time, and Ed Woodward, thank God, is no longer at Manchester United Football Club. No longer. First, bring the right environment in the dressing room and sell the toxic players like Rashford, McTominay and Luke Shaw. That is not my opinion, that is Swagat's opinion. And it's one that I contend with quite heavily. Rashford is not toxic. Scott McTominay is a model citizen. Luke Shaw is injured, and I know availability is the best ability. But all 3 are wonderful people. They're wonderful people. They speak very well. Rashford has come out and defended himself numerous times. They remind me very similar to Bruno in their mentality. So does anyone agree with him? Does anyone think Marcus Rashford, is a toxic influence in the dressing room? Let me know. I respect it. I respect your opinion, but I disagree with it. Nathan Checkfield says Varane, Lindelof and Evans out. I mean, Varane's already gone. Johnny Evans is looking very likely to leave. And Victor Lindelof, I think he'll be quite a hard player to shift, but I don't think it's impossible that he leaves. Branthwaite, Yoro and Tosin in. If we get those three centre-backs in, that would be huge. Ed Barrett says that it was reported yesterday that the football people in management want to keep Ten Hag. Give me about 20 minutes, mate. We're going to get onto that. We're leaving that to the end. We've got a lot to talk about with Eric Ten Hag today. Any other opinions on centre-backs before we move on to what else do we need at Manchester United? Because it's not just centre-backs we need. There's been reports we're going to rip the entire squad apart. Ralph Rangnick said last season, this squad needs open heart surgery. Is that still the case? Well, sort of. It does need open heart surgery, but we're going to have to go in for 2, 3, 4, 5 surgeries. We can completely change this team. We're not going to do a Chelsea. We just do it all at once. However, let's see what order we're going to go for them first. Rob Dawson said a lot yesterday, and he said that as well as a centre-back, Manchester United have plans in place to sign a midfielder and a striker. Work has also been done to identify wingers who might be available, but the position is lower down on the list of priorities. Let's forget for a second which players we want. Which position do we most need at Manchester United? Chat, let me hear about it. Who do we most need at Manchester United? Even those not typing in the chat, let me know. What do we think? Tell me on @AlexTalksAll on Twitter, @MUFCMPB on Twitter. Get at us, let us know. Let us know what we're thinking. Scalvini, but unlikely, says Nathan Checkfield for centre-back. The 20-year-old out of Italy. Would love him, not coming. Any Ten Hag updates, says Lubega. Give me 10, 15, 20 minutes. We'll get there, mate. Basnet says, if Ineos wants a British core within the team, then don't see Maguire moving out. Plus, his mentality is elite. Yes, it is, Basnet. It's absolutely top tier. That man went through everything. He was arrested in Greece. He had the whole world pouring down on him with abuse. And look at him. He was one of the best this season at centre-back when he was playing. Yes, his availability has not been great, but he was ran into the ground by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He was ran into the ground by Ralph Rangnick. He needed a break, and he looks a little bit like his old self. Let's see what we're saying. We need a Destroyer 6 desperately, says TJ Moran. What do you mean by a Destroyer 6? To me, you want a bit more of a mix between a Destroyer and a mix between a player who can handle the ball at his feet. And that to me is Amadou Onana. We spoke about him a lot yesterday. Which 6 do we want at United? Is it still Sofiane Amrabat? Do we move Corey Mainu back? Hell, do we try Bruno Fernandes out as a 6? I mean, he said he wants to play there. Do we try him there now? Let me know. Let me know. I want Amadou Onana, but there's other players in this as well. Nathan Checksfield, if he's going through his list for Manchester United this summer, he wants 3 centre-backs, 1 defensive midfielder, then a second striker, a winger, then a centre-mid, and then a left-back, and back as Amas. That's interesting, mate. Do you rate Amas, Nathan? Nathan, do we rate Amas? Jithian Joseph, nice to see you again, my friend. We can write off Branthwaite. His asking price is 90 million euros. No Amrabat, says Jithian Joseph. I really like Amrabat. It's a guilty pleasure of mine, unfortunately. That FA Cup final, he was fantastic, don't you think? He was excellent. He was really, really good. He was really, really good. WY says, we need a centre-back the most. We need centre-backs the most. And I think not really because of the profile. I think the actual players we have there, Varane and Lisandro Martinez, when fit, Maguire as well, they're good centre-backs. I just think quite a few are leaving. Amas deserves an opportunity at left-back. It's why I think you bring in Branthwaite. Because he can play at left-back. Lisandro Martinez can play at left-back. And it also means we don't sign a left-back for the next 3, 4, 5 years. And it allows Amas to come through really naturally. Because let's be honest, Tyrone Malacia, you're Marcus Rashford's best mate, buddy. But you will be going in a season or two. And I see the same happening with Luke Shaw. And that is why I would love Javi Amas to get some minutes next season. But he's not good enough long-term. About Amrabat, says WY. He's good enough in a Carabao Cup. He's good enough in an FA Cup. He's good enough to play against a newly promoted side. He's good enough when we rotate. That's my opinion on Sofiane Amrabat. Origami says 2 right centre-backs, 1 left centre-backs. I'm assuming this is in order. A 6, a hybrid 6 and 8. A backup striker, basically 2 for every position. That really is open heart surgery, Origami. If you agree with Origami's thing that we need to completely tear this squad apart, leave us a like. Leave us a like, put it in the chat, let me know. Subscribe to the channel. 24 likes right now. I really want to hit 30 in the next few minutes, guys. I really appreciate the support today. The chat is so active. Is there any chance for Polina? We haven't heard much about him, unfortunately. Haven't heard much about him. I just want to comment on Dawson, by the way, guys. He has been really quite excellent. I'm taking this. It's a really quite confident dump Dawson's putting out there. And I really think everything we can see here is really rather accurate. I think, yes, of course, journalists are not going to be perfect. And they're always going to be going off once or twice. We have a donation from Uzia Animations. Thank you. Goldbridge is the GOAT. He's certainly an interesting voice. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for that. Your thoughts on Jean-Claude Blanc and Sir Dave Brailsford, says Pandy. They're taking big decisions for our club. We'll get onto them very, very soon, my friend. Give me about a few more minutes and we'll get onto them. Stick around, guys. We have a huge Erik ten Hag story to talk about and the horrible way that he has been treated by Manchester United. Don't miss out on that. For the price, Amrabat as a rotation 6 whilst waiting for Toby Collier to embed. Again, we're hearing there is a lot of Toby Collier prop in this chat. You guys love him. God, give me a rundown on him, guys. Give me a rundown. How does he play? How does he play? If you're watching right now, go on YouTube. Have this still up. Get your phone up. Or get your laptop out. Look at Toby Collier. Let me know what you think about him. At least 5 players minimum we need to get to increase our squad depth. How many times have we seen our good run getting destroyed by 1 to 2 injuries? Squad depth is huge, especially the way in the Europa League next season. I think it's really, really, really important. Now, Malacia should still get a chance. He was good last year, says WY. Was he? Where was Tyrell Malacia? Oh, you mean 2 seasons ago? About to say, like... Tyrell Malacia was in more designer outlets than he was in on the pitch in Old Trafford. Like, we went missing. There were whole memes about wanted posters and, oh, have you seen this? Like, he's gone missing. Tiago says, Rashford's influence in the dressing room by being the highest earner and not putting in effort and inconsistency creates a toxic environment and not a good example for your players. Marcus Rashford came from Carrington. Came up through the ranks, earned his spot, pulled absolute magic out of his arse last season for Erik ten Hag when everything could have fell apart. And you're saying he's a toxic influence? Let me know. If you disagree with me, if you don't think Marcus Rashford is technically the best player on the side, let me know. It's not Malacia's fault he's been injured. I personally think it is. He chose to not have a surgery with United and went to the Netherlands and got a surgery there. Your rotating tweets need to stay on the screen a few seconds longer. Go too quick to read. Shenanigans. I will make that change for you in a bit. Malacia had only one good match. That was against Liverpool at home where we won 2-1. I was sold a dream that day, my friend. I was sold a dream. I was sold a dream. Malacia is good. He will create a relationship on that left with Rashford. Luke Shaw is the man with the best relationship with Marcus Rashford. Let's not forget that. Let's not forget that. So, any more things about transfers before we move on to Erik ten Hag's situation? Any more thoughts? Any more thoughts? You are going on and on about how Manchester United treated Erik ten Hag. How about say it as it is? We spent £400 million and end up with only 2 good first-team starters and 2 mixed bags in Onana and Mount. Well, let me tell you, Jithy and Joseph. Let me read out the 2 incredibly contrasting tweets. Ben Jacobs, who will be on the MUFC MPB channel on Tuesday this week, he's going to be giving us an interview with our very own Anil, said that clarity on Erik ten Hag's Manchester United future is expected before the end of the week. Potentially today is when the news could break, is what he said. And then Telegraph Ducker, one of United's biggest sources, one of the best and brightest sources at Manchester United, saw this probably, reached out to the club, and the club go, Manchester United are taking their time on the future of Erik ten Hag, with no decision expected on the manager this week. Two hugely contrasting reports, and let me tell you, I think they're both right. I think they're both right. I don't think either one of them are wrong, because Ben Jacobs is saying the decision has been made, and Duckett is saying no decision is expected on the manager this week. I think he means by that public announcement. I think he means publicly. Any update on Ten Hag's future? We're talking about that right now, Lebega. We have to talk about that right now, Lebega. So what do we think? Who's right? Ducker or Ben Jacobs? Let me know in the chat. But I think both of them are right. I think both of them are right. When do we think the decision is going to be? But most importantly, the reason why I'm talking about this shambolic treatment is, imagine you're working a job. You come away with a massive achievement. Hell, he's on a holiday right now. He's on a holiday with his wife, who knows where, trying to enjoy himself. But his job is up in the air completely. Up in the air. He probably thought, we all saw his interviews, he knew he was going to be gone. Everything about taking digs at Roy Keane, about his answers constantly changing, admitting himself that a season review had already been conducted. He had said that himself in an interview, by the way, before the game. He said that himself. Pardon me, sorry. He said that himself. And then afterwards, United see the result. It's very Glazers. Ineos are very close to me of being seen in a very Glazer fashion. Because they go, well, oh dear, bit of a mistake. Yeah, we don't want to do now. Who knows? It's like they're playing hot potato with his job. There was a report yesterday about Sir David Brailsford playing devil's advocate about Erik ten Hag and Blanc pushing for him. It's like they're all going, no, you make the decision. No, you make the decision. No, Sir Jim, you make the decision. Van Glazer, you make the decision. Joel Glazer, you make the decision. It's lunacy. It's lunacy. It's lunacy. Decision on June 2nd, says Jithian Joseph. There is a wage reduction in the contract that activates on June the 1st and costs less to fire all the staff this June. To me, you're playing with a man's career. You're playing with fans' opinions. People are hearing things saying, oh, Erik ten Hag is staying, Erik ten Hag is gone. The common consensus that I'm hearing is that Ten Hag could be staying, but who knows? Nobody knows at Manchester United. No one knows in the journalists. No in the knows really know. I think it's lunacy. What do we guys think? Is Erik ten Hag being treated right? Would you want your job to be treated like this? Let me know. Let me know. WY says, I think he'll be sacked tomorrow. Irvin, nice to see you in the chat, my friend. Nice to see you. He agrees with me saying both. How you doing, Irvin? How you doing? Cubis says, if United sack Ten Hag, they are doing him dirty. Not because of the season, but because of the delay. He missed out on a few job opportunities. If Ten Hag knew properly, Bayern Munich would have waited for him. If what they're saying is true, saying, oh yeah, look, we don't really know what's happening with you. Like, we're all about forward thinking and like thinking ahead for the future, but we don't actually know. We don't know. So yeah, no, you please stay with us and like be fully committed to us. Don't go and look at other jobs. No, we wouldn't want you to do that. We wouldn't want you to jeopardize your career. No, just jeopardize your career. Stay with us. Stay with us. You're okay. It's lunacy. It's so poor from Erik ten Hag, from Ineos, in their treatment of Erik ten Hag. Erik ten Hag bought players with elite mentality, says Basnet. He says that that's the first thing we needed at United. Lisandro Martinez, Casemiro, and Nana had big personalities, helped the team. He also signed Anthony, who is the biggest moany man-child I've ever seen. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. Let's be honest. If you're just joining the scene, please leave us a like if you're enjoying. Please, if you want to see me every day at 11 a.m, I'm here. Give us a subscribe. Never miss a stream. I'm here all the time, all day. Do you think Joseph says, yeah, Bayern would have waited next choke? He absolutely would. They absolutely would have. Erik ten Hag or Vincent Kompany, they absolutely would have waited. Absolutely would have waited. I think people compare this to how Louis van Gaal was sacked, but back then we had a certain Jose available who was an upgrade on Louis van Gaal. Well, we have Thomas Tuchel sitting, waiting and begging for Manchester United. Do we not think that Thomas Tuchel is the man for the job? Do we not think that Thomas Tuchel is a better manager than Erik ten Hag? Or get rid of manager because we're not going to have that at United anymore? Or head coach? Is Thomas Tuchel a better head coach than Erik ten Hag? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the chat. Kuba says, any news on free transfer like Tosin? United need depth but have limited budget. Why are they not moving fast to sign Tosin, Lloyd, etc.? Both players who Newcastle are looking at. And again, we spoke earlier about things we should be aiming to be. The way Newcastle recruit, they recruit superbly. And looking at free transfers like Lloyd, free transfers like Tosin is exactly how they should be doing it. And we spoke about earlier about Dawson's reports. You can go back a few minutes, you can see that, and we spoke about how Tosin would be an ideal player to sign at United, especially if Dawson's report is true, and that we're going to move away from bantamweight because of his humongous evaluation. We'll be looking at Tosin instead. What am I doing in a Madrid jersey, says Rego. I love the club. I'm a United fan, but I have a load of different football shirts, and also it's got Bellingham on the back. I grew up right next to Bellingham, so... do you think Joseph can't do any deal for free agents until July the 1st? We will see, my friend. We will see July 1st hits. Everything is going to happen. I think after this weekend, United news is going to get busier and more packed than ever. And if you don't want to miss a beat, come here 11 a.m. every morning, where I'll be looking at this morning's news, the previous day's news, breaking it down with you and having a great discussion about it. So hit my subscribe button, guys. Inge says, I think Tuchel is a cup manager. He'll give you quick success, but then I don't think he can win you the league. He doesn't suit the long-term project. Any more opinions on the manager situation, guys? Let me know. Let me know. Tuchel is not suitable for Manchester United. Why? Why, Swargett? Why? Why is he not suited? Charismatic. He's got bundles of energy. He is an elite man manager. He's an excellent coach. I think he'd be perfect for the job. I think he'd be perfect. Checksfield says, it has to be to stick with Ten Hag or go De Zerbi, as you think of the young talent available, but it is shambolic. Look at Chelsea if it was right or wrong to sack Poch. They didn't delay. So, I'm assuming everyone who's seen what Samuel Luckhurst has been saying. And it's a bit talking about the shambolic way in which Manchester United are treating Erik ten Hag. Ineos have doubled down again and are treating players' agents even worse. Well, perhaps that is a bit much, but they are treating agents pretty poorly. Samuel Luckhurst reported that some of, and this is just today by the way, some of Manchester United's transfer targets are unsure if the club will advance with their interest amid uncertainty over Erik ten Hag. Representatives of some targets are in limbo as United continue to mull over whether to continue with Ten Hag in charge. Very quickly, it's Samuel Luckhurst. Now, I know he's been a bit controversial lately. I know Ten Hag was quite upset at him. I know occasionally he does get on the wrong side of United. But I think this news is spot on. I think it's spot on. Samuel Luckhurst is superb at communicating with representatives of more agents instead of, he also talks with players. Doesn't get much from the club anymore. But the fact that this is from representatives, seemingly, they've come to Luckhurst and they've gone, look, we're in limbo. We haven't got a clue what's going on. And Luckhurst has put it out. Very much to me, it rings quite true. There's also been a few murmurings from other pages saying that this is looking to be true as well. So I'm inclined to agree with this. And again, it's more of an indictment on Ineos' running of Manchester United. Like, come on. You've got players probably desperate to come. You could miss out, if we miss out on Leny Yoro, because of this. We spoke about him in great depth at the start of the video. If you've just joined us, please go back and watch that. Really interesting conversation. If we miss out on Yoro because of us playing hot potato with Ten Hag's future, that is one of the biggest mistakes we can make in years. He's a generational talent, and any signing. Say we miss out on Tosin. Say we miss out on Tosin. A free agent, a wonderful opportunity. Oh, come on. I would be livid. Would you guys be livid? Let me see. Let me see. Um, Nathan Chexfield says, would Ten Hag actually feel backed at this point? Even if he stayed, it just seems like a slippery slope. Exactly. The way they've treated him isn't well. They've left him in the dark. Players' agents are so confused. What's going on at Manchester United? Does even Sir Jim Ratcliffe know? The man above it all, he's appointed all of these people. Do they know what's going on? Dan Ashworth's arbitration is being held next week. Let's hear about that. To me, I was so hopeful for Ineos, and I still am. I'm not Ineos out. I'm never going to be that. They need to be given a fair chance. They need to give them a couple transfer windows. But good Lord, it's not a good start, is it? We can't sign everybody, says Toulon. I know we can't. I know we can't sign everyone. I'm not saying that. But I am saying that we need to treat people better. We need to talk to agents. We need to communicate with them. And they're in limbo. They're in the dark. I know we can't leak it. But I do think even some form of communication would be really, really helpful. Thoughts on Benjamin Sesko going to Arsenal? He was a Manchester United target. Basnet, thank you for asking. Sesko is a wonderful player. He's not what we need at United, and I think he will thrive at Arsenal. Watch my words. Arsenal will be a force if Benjamin Sesko signs next year. And I think in Pep Guardiola's last season at City, Benjamin Sesko could be the one to knock them off their perch. They made a big deal about the cup final not making a difference, but it clearly has, says Nathan Chexfield. Exactly. That's my point. They tell everyone. They tell the Muppeteers. They tell all of these different people saying, look, the FA Cup final means nothing. They told Jacob Stein. They told, what's his name? Jacob Steinfield. What is it? Less than a day before? Saying, look, doesn't matter about the FA Cup final. He's gone. Nearly a week later, he's still here. It's clear the FA Cup finals had an impact. It's so reactionary. It's so Glazer-esque. Glazer-onomics, everybody, is what we're seeing in action, especially if we're just going to wait for June the 2nd. What are we doing? It's a cost-saving exercise. I get, you know what, no. I get why we're doing it, but it just, to me, it screams of Glazer-onomics, and I can't deal with that. I cannot deal with that. Nathan Chexfield again saying, big prediction, we sack Ten Hag and miss out on Elise and try to use Sancho to save money. Potentially, my friend, potentially. Cuba says, Sesko, Haaland, Højlund, Premier League is going to be lit next season. I'm relieved that we missed out on Darwin. Yeah, Rasmus Højlund is a better player than Darwin Núñez, 100%, my friend. Let's have a little look. What else are we saying, chat? What else are we saying? Let's get to 40 likes, guys. Leave it a like if you haven't already. I know you're all enjoying this day. The engagement in the chat has been fantastic. Let me know what's going on. Let me know what's going on. And in a second, we're going to be bringing you news on Jadon Sancho. News that has just been broken today. If you want to know what Sancho's future is looking like at the club, stick around. Give me 5 more minutes and we'll get that turned on straight for you. Bassett says, definitely there's players wanting to sign for United. Elise's deal should have been done. Can't miss out on players wanting to come. I think it probably is, Elise. Do you reckon that's where the Chelsea links came from? Do you reckon Chelsea have looked at this whole situation? They've had a little look and they've gone, well, I don't know what they're doing. They're falling a little bit about with Ten Hag. Could we move in for Elise? Todd Bowley's licking his lips right now, guys. He's licking his lips. And if we lose out on Elise, a Manchester United boyhood fan, to Chelsea, who already messed it up once last summer, what are we doing? That, to me, would be a huge loss. Cuba says, do you know how much budget United have this season? Interesting you used to say that, because Luckhurst... Also, I need to find this tweet. Give me a second, guys. But if you want to know about Manchester United's budget, stick around for 2 seconds. I'll let you know. Manchester United's budget, by in the words of Luckhurst, says that Manchester United have prioritised 3 significant signings this summer: a centre-back, a midfielder, and a forward, with any other incomings funded by planned outgoings. To me, significant means in the range of 40 to 60 million pounds. So to me, I think our budget, taking out of outgoings, will be around 130 million-ish. 130, 140. And I think our net spend this summer will be around £125 million. If we move Maguire on, if we move maybe an Aaron Wan-Bissaka on, say we push on, I don't know. Say Anthony, say by some miracle we get rid of Anthony. Yeah. I'd be very happy with that. But what do we think about the budget, guys? What do we think about the budget? Is that a fair budget? Should Erik ten Hag be given even a bigger war chest? If Thomas Tuchel comes in, does that change? If Graham Potter comes in, does that change things? Let me know in the chat. Hell, Thomas Frank comes in. What budget do you give him? Does it change by the manager? What do we all think? Vego says, surely Ineos have to come out with a statement regarding Ten Hag soon in the next few days. Absolutely. I don't think it'll come this weekend. Next week, though, I have a sneaky hunch. Monday or Tuesday, we will be seeing Erik ten Hag's future decided. A 220 million window at least, says Nathan Chexfield, saying what we should be aiming for. Guys, just to let you know, we'll be talking about Jadon Sancho's future at United in about 5 minutes' time. Stick around if you want to hear about that. But at the moment, what do we think about Manchester United's budget? What should it be? Do we agree with Luckhurst? Do we think he's right? Again, it's something that I'm going to be a bit more sceptical about it for, because Luckhurst has fallen out with United recently, and him getting news directly from them about their budget, about which signings, I'm going to believe a little bit less than I just love a bit of confirmation on it, personally. Urban says, I don't even know anymore. United looks so hopeless in transfers. We need a statement signing like Elise to convince us. Would a signing of Elise in the next few weeks, done quick and swift, convince you that Ineos is serious, or would it take a few windows to convince you of that? Nathan Chexfield says, what can we realistically get for Greenwood? Chat, let me know. What would you sell Mason Greenwood for? 20 million? 30 million? 40 million? 50 million? We're talking about Mason Greenwood properly in a second, but let me know. Because if we sell him, it's pure profit, everybody. Pure profit. Vego says, thoughts on the Arsenal physio joining United? I think it's only a good thing. Because at the moment, our medical staff doesn't really exist. I don't know the ins and outs, but all I know is that United's medical staff is essentially a stickman sort of thing at the moment, guys. It doesn't really exist. 35 to 40 million, says a Yinka. Do we agree with that? Is that what we're thinking? For Mason Greenwood, 35 to 40 million? Again, ignore all the noise, ignore all the drama. Put that aside as a footballer. What do we think about Mason Greenwood? What do we think about Mason Greenwood? I don't... Casemiro, Lindelof, Sancho, Greenwood, Van der Beek. Who's that? Who's Van der Beek? Varane and Martial, freeing wages. We can have a good budget. That's true. But also, like we talk about Tosin as a free transfer. Yes, he will be cheaper than if we had to pay a fee for him. But I remember Ben Foster revealing on a podcast recently, there's no such thing as a free transfer. There's no such thing. Agent fees just get hiked up. It doesn't really matter. 30 to 50 million pounds. If a team pays over 40 million pounds for Mason Greenwood, you can bite my hand off. I will drive him, not even to the airport. I'll drive him to Madrid myself. I'll go in the Eurotunnel. If there's over 40 million pounds we paid for Mason Greenwood, I'm the first man driving him there. Trust me. But speaking of Atletico Madrid, Graham Bailey, I believe, if you give me a second. If you want to know where Mason Greenwood is most likely to end up, give me 2 minutes, I'll find it for you. If we're talking about Mason Greenwood, I believe Atletico Madrid are the team most interested in. Yes, Graham Bailey, word for word, Atletico Madrid are emerging as favourites to sign Mason Greenwood. Now, Bailey, I feel, is a fantastic journalist. I would like a bit of confirmation on this one. It sort of feels like it's where the trend is going. I would love to see more people agreeing with him and saying, yes, that is who we're looking at. Mason Greenwood to Atletico Madrid. And also, it gives a little bit of credibility to João Felix being swapped as well. Chelsea City would easily be able to fetch close to £50 million for Mason Greenwood, Player of the Year at Getafe. No reason United should settle for anything less than £15 million for Mason Greenwood. I did say ignore the noise. and I'm more speaking about how you feel about the player. But you do have to remember the drama that is going to come with Mason Greenwood. I think that although he might have all the ability in the world, he might be one of the best players United have ever produced. I believe that, hand on heart. But I do think the noise and the drama does lower his value just a little bit. And it's a bit of a shame, but I do think 50 million would be incredible to get. I do think. Hello, says Alexandru. Hello, my friend. Welcome to the stream. Don't touch João Felix. Imo says Nathan, although he could play the role that Bruno has recently like a false nine. I said that yesterday on the chat. It didn't go very well. Everyone got very mad at me for suggesting that. People did not like me at all. Alexandru says, can I ask you something, mate? It is a discussion here. It is a community. Ask away. I'd love to hear what your thoughts are. We need quick and swift transfers to know if Ineos is serious, says Basnet. It's always deadline day drama at United. That's what Ineos needs to do. It's what they need to achieve, personally. They need to be aiming for that. Ed Babbitt says, do you think that Ineos will wait for a bidding war to develop or just take the first reasonable offer? Depends what the interest is. I think teams, especially in the Premier League, are going to stay far clear from all the bidding war. They won't want to get in a bidding war for Mason Greenwood. They won't want to. Any last thoughts on Greenwood before I move on to one of the final segments of today, and that will be Jadon Sancho, ladies and gentlemen. Jadon Sancho. Any ideas on Greenwood before I move on? So, what is Mark Ogden saying? Manchester United have not yet given up on Jadon Sancho. While his United future appears non-existent under Erik ten Hag, the ongoing uncertainty over the manager's position could open up a path for Sancho to return, if he wants to, in the event of United firing Erik ten Hag. To underline United's commitment to Sancho, former head of football operations John Murtough and Matt Hargreaves, director of player negotiations, visited him in Dortmund in March to maintain contacts and gauge his progress in Germany. That's a bit of a bombshell, ladies and gentlemen. I feel that Ogden is an interesting journalist to me. He broke the Erik ten Hag to Manchester United news, if we all remember that. He did some excellent journalism. He messaged United and they gave a different response to what they did prior. He's a very investigative journalist, and his sort of details about Hargreaves and Murtough visiting Jadon in Germany, it seems a little bit too specific for Ogden to gamble on it, and it's very, very easy for United to refute this. So personally, I believe it. I believe there is genuine interest on United's side to keep Jadon Sancho. Now, if you've been watching the streams with me, I really quite like Jadon Sancho. I think it would be wonderful to keep him at Manchester United. He is a man who balled out in a Champions League semi-final. Not single-handedly, but it was a huge effort to drag Borussia Dortmund. Such a disjointed side. He linked them together. He was the glue. He is taking Borussia Dortmund on a really deep Champions League run. If he wins in the Champions League, keep him. Do whatever you can. You will have just sent a player on loan. You will have banished a player, and he returns with a Champions League trophy. How do you not keep Jadon Sancho? What does the chat think? What does the chat think? Little bit of talk about Greenwood while you're having a think about that. Spain or Turkey, ideal destination for Greenwood, says Irvin. Absolutely. Personally, I don't think there's much noise outside England regarding Greenwood, so I don't think it should significantly affect his price, says Rego. Yeah, but United need to offload him because of it. Manchester United will not keep Mason Greenwood. They will not. Anyone who has any hope of that in the chat, I'm so sorry. There'll be no hope of that. Tuchel's not better than Erik ten Hag, says Dan. And Cuba says, didn't Ineos say that they won't be entering a bidding war and will approach this summer with a take it or leave it mentality? They should just move on from Banthwaite and go after Yoro ASAP. I agree. But we're talking about bidding wars. I mean, guys, like, let's be honest. We had Madrid are going to come in for him, and then there's going to be a bidding war. Owen says, have I seen how Klopp has mocked us for getting rid of Sancho? No. Let me know. Ainka says, but to be honest, would you rather take Jadon Sancho or get Elise, who more suits that position because we'll be stacked in attack? Why can't we have both? Why can't we have both? The Muppeteers revealed on a podcast with Attacking Football that Amad Diallo could be leaving the club this summer. I love Amad Diallo. We spoke about him at great length yesterday. But if he leaves, Jadon Sancho is more than good enough to be the man to replace Amad Diallo. So personally, both. Why can't we have both? We're Manchester United. We've forgotten this. We can have both players. And just because we're such a big football club, we are 3 likes away from 40 likes today. We hit that target yesterday. If you've just joined the stream, or say you've been watching the stream and you forgot about it, it's okay. I forgive you. Give the stream a like. Give us a subscribe. Give me a follow on Twitter at AlexTalks. So I want to give MUFC a follow on Twitter, so you never miss the latest and greatest news that we have. United want Chalobah from Chelsea. Apparently, that's Miguel Delaney who said that. He reported that. Let me find that report for you now. Let me find that report for you now. So, what do we think about Jadon Sancho, everybody? What do we think about Jadon Sancho? No, man, Amad is the future superstar. Keep him. I agree with you, mate. I agree with you. I want to keep Amad Diallo at all costs. Trust me. I am his biggest supporter. Irvin says, if the whole world loses trust and faith in the player, then the manager has to be the one behind the player. Klopp says, I cannot just buy into that he's useless stuff like other clubs did. Jurgen Klopp, my friends, you may be a Liverpool manager. I may not like you that much, but my God, did you speak the truth there. Jadon Sancho was treated interestingly at Manchester United. He was treated poorly from the very beginning. He was brought in, promised the number 7 shirt. Oh, but that's Cristiano Ronaldo coming in. So if you don't... I know you were promised to be the next superstar, but we've actually just got someone who we, used to have. If you could just sort of give up your, promise. Yeah, thank you. It's what United were awful with it. United were awful with Sancho, let's be honest. United were awful. Ed Babbitt says, sell or Sancho, keep Amad. Keep both. Fikre, apologies if I didn't get that right, says, I love Sancho. Ten Hag is just stubborn. He would have saved the season. I don't think that. I don't think Sancho particularly likes the club anymore, and with heavy good reason. But yeah. And then we find that Trevor Chalobah tweet very quickly from Delaney. Give me 2 seconds. Miguel Delaney says, Manchester United are considering a move for Chelsea centre-back Trevor Chalobah. He would cost £25 million. We were talking about centre-backs earlier on the stream. He's a right-footed centre-back who can play at full-back. I have a lot of time for him. Do I think he's Manchester United quality? Well, let's discuss. Is Trevor Chalobah a Manchester United quality player? Would you take him at United? Talking about the nature of this tweet, it very much feels that considering a move for Chelsea centre-back feels very agent-driven. I'm not going to lie. It feels like Chalobah has been sort of put on the market by Chelsea just due to financial fair play. He's homegrown. They'd love to get a bit of a profit on him. And it does feel like to me that, if they move him on, it's only pure profit. It's only good things. I feel like United's name, as we've spoken about this stream, Manchester United's name is the biggest in world football. It attracts interest. No for Chalobah, not good enough. No, big no. Good Lord, you guys do not like this man. Not at all. Irvin standing alone saying he's a good backup. He can play 6, centre-back and right-back. I would not play Chalobah as a 6, but he can play centre-back and he can play right-back. You know what? Not the worst Aaron Wan-Bissaka replacement. And him as a right-back is sort of in the mould. I'm not saying they're anywhere close, stylistically. But Tomiyasu, he's a really good utility player for Arsenal. Thoughts on Mount, keep or sell? I'd keep Mason Mount. Especially if Thomas Tuchel comes in, he will be a bona fide superstar. Trust me. So, the stream is nearing its end. I really enjoyed it today. But any last things we guys want to say? Any bold? Trevor Chalobah is a player we're looking at. Are there any other rogue transfer suggestions? Let me know. I want everyone who's participated today, tell me your wildest transfer suggestion. Let me know. Who would I bring in from Chelsea? They need to sell a lot of financial fair play, says Basnet. You know what? I know he's not with them anymore, but it's a player who I would have loved United to look at. Would have been Lewis Hall. I really like Lewis Hall. I think he's rather brilliant. Ed Barrett says, Sancho hasn't proven himself at United despite having 2 full seasons to do it. When he wasn't given that mid-season break, he wasn't missed. Fair, but look what he's doing at Dortmund. Look at what a motivated Jadon Sancho can do. So let's see the rogue, the wild, even maybe the intelligent. Let's see what this chat can cook up. Pandy says, João Neves at any cost. João Neves isn't the one for me. But I certainly see how a player of his quality would be of interest to United, but he's not for me. Hincapi, is that how I'm saying that, Irvin? Let me know. From Leverkusen, centre-back and left-back. Ollie Watkins, Vamo, nice to see him in the chat again. Ollie Watkins is a name that is being said. Again, I spoke about him a little bit yesterday. Be a fun player to have. Leif Davis from Ipswich. You love, says Irvin. Vego, you're doing a good job hosting the stream, pal. Quite impressed. Onwards and upwards for you. Thank you so much for your support, my friend. I'm here every day at 11 a.m. If you want me to be back even better and brighter, give me 2 more likes, please. 40 likes, that mean the world to me. Transfer fantasy, half of the dead wood is removed, says Ed Barrett. We can only hope, my friend. A Yinka, I would go for Bruno Guimaraes. I know, unrealistic. Still, Arsenal are looking at him. He would cost an arm and a leg and half of my internal organs. But yeah, he'd be great. United won't sign him, but he would be great. Correct pronunciation. Thank you, Irvin. Any more? I'll read out one more suggestion, and I'll leave it. What's the rogue suggestion we got? Surely we've got a rogue suggestion in the chat. Someone who's not said anything today, let me know. If there's a player I would sign from Chelsea, now this is something to end it on because I agree with this. It would be Conor Gallagher. His contract is up and he is very hard working. Conor Gallagher to me is another Scott McTominay. I really like Scott McTominay. It's a nice thing to keep him around. And you know what? Scott McTominay, a man to lead us into the future. As a squad player, it's what he's going to be relegated to this summer. Players who come in the last 25, 30 minutes. It's what United will be about. It's not a bad idea to end the stream on that, shall we? So, thank you all so very much for joining me. Please leave us a subscribe if you've enjoyed. I'm here 11 a.m. every single day. Follow us at MUFCMPB on Twitter for all the latest and best news and any stream announcements. We have Ben Jacobs coming up on Tuesday. Don't miss that. And of course, follow me at Alex Talks All for any news regarding myself. I'll see you next time.